Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. In the world of American coin collecting, some of the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, in old drawers, dusty jars, or tucked away in long-forgotten rolls of change. While most coins serve their simple purpose as currency, a rare few carry secrets of minting errors, historical transition, or sheer rarity that make them worth many times their face value. One such fascinating example is the 1965 Washington quarter. Though millions were made and they circulate to this day, a few exceptional versions of this coin have captured the attention of collectors and fetched staggering sums of money. Yes, we're talking about a quarter, worth 25 cents, that, in rare cases, has sold for an astonishing $182,000. To understand how this happened, we must go back to the 1960s, a time of major change, not only in America's culture and politics, but also in its coinage. Prior to 1965, quarters were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. But as the price of silver began to rise, people began hoarding coins for their melt value. This created a shortage in circulating coinage, prompting the U.S. government to make a pivotal decision that would reshape modern American currency. Starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint officially ended the use of silver in circulating quarters. The new composition featured a copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel, a far less expensive alternative that maintained the coin's silver-like appearance but eliminated the valuable metal content. This transition was not only practical, but also revolutionary. It changed how the public interacted with coins and how collectors assessed value. The 1965 Washington quarter was the very first in this new copper-nickel clad series. With a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, it looked nearly identical to its silver predecessor. The coin retained its classic design. The obverse proudly displays the left-facing portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan. Above his head arches the word "Liberty," to the left is the national motto, "In God We Trust," and directly beneath his neckline lies the date, 1965. Turn the coin over and the reverse design continues the tradition, a majestic eagle with its wings outspread, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing American strength and readiness. Below the arrows are two olive branches, signifying peace. Encircling this image are the words, "United States of America," at the top, "E pluribus unum," just above the eagle, and $quarter along the bottom. It's a design that combines symbolism, strength, and the proud identity of the nation. Despite the massive production of 1965 quarters, something remarkable happened. A few quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets left over from 1964. These rare transitional errors are the crown jewels of Washington quarter collecting. They defy the official records and reveal that even the most organized institutions can make small, valuable mistakes. These silver 1965 quarters are practically indistinguishable from regular ones to the naked eye, but to a trained ear, the sound of silver is unmistakable. When dropped on a hard surface, silver coins ring with a high-pitched tone, while clad coins produce a duller sound. To add to the mystery, the 1965 quarter does not carry a mint mark. That's because, from 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks from all coins to prevent people from hoarding coins from certain facilities. This makes identifying the origin of rare varieties even more difficult, adding a layer of intrigue for serious numismatists. So what exactly makes these rare 1,965 quarters worth tens, even hundreds, of thousands of dollars? It comes down to a combination of factors: an error in production, extremely low survival rate, and the condition of the coin. A 1965 quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet is one of the rarest minting errors of the modern era. Add to that a high mint state condition, say, MS 66 or higher, and the value skyrockets. These coins are certified and graded by professional agencies such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, whose authentication is essential when dealing with coins of this magnitude. Collectors and dealers continue to hunt for the elusive silver 1965 quarters by checking weights carefully. A standard copper-nickel 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver one weighs closer to 6.25 grams. It's a tiny difference, but a critical one for those searching for a hidden gem. In addition to planchet errors, there are also rare double-die varieties and off-center strikes from 1965 that can significantly increase a coin's value. What makes this coin even more exciting is how accessible it seems. Unlike ancient coins, gold rarities, or obscure foreign currency, the 1965 Washington quarter is a coin you might actually find in your pocket. The dream of discovering a life-changing coin in everyday circulation is what keeps collectors, from beginners to experts, constantly searching, inspecting, and hoping. Every quarter passed through your hands holds the potential to be something extraordinary. That's the real magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, history, and storytelling. It's about finding value in the unexpected, and learning to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. Every coin has a past, and some have a legacy that stretches across decades. The 1965 Washington quarter represents a turning point in American coinage. It marks the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in minting history. And within that transition lies the possibility of mint errors so rare and so significant, they command attention from collectors around the world. And now, after all this history and mystery, let's reveal the most exciting part, the value. One specific example of a 1965 Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet and certified in near-perfect mint condition, was presented at a major coin auction. Its rarity, combined with exceptional preservation and collector demand, drove bidding to an unforgettable level. The final hammer price for this rare and historic coin was an unbelievable $182,000. Top 2. There are few things more exciting in the world of numismatics than discovering that a seemingly ordinary coin, one that could have passed through your hands, your parents' change jar, or even a vending machine decades ago, is actually worth a small fortune. That is exactly the case with one particular piece of American coinage that continues to stir excitement among collectors, the 1971 D. Washington quarter. While this silver-colored coin may appear like just another 25-cent piece, under the right conditions, it can be worth far more than its face value. In some rare instances, this coin has been sold for as much as $145,000. So what makes this specific quarter so special? Let's take a deep dive into its story, its design, its history, the errors that make it rare, and how it became a prized treasure in the world of coins. To understand the significance of the 1971 D. Washington quarter, we first need to consider its place in the timeline of American coinage. Just a few years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a monumental change. It stopped using 90% silver in quarters and began minting them with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This decision was made to reduce costs and prevent people from hoarding coins for their metal content. From that point forward, all quarters intended for circulation were made with a pure copper core, clad in layers of copper-nickel, giving them the familiar silver color without the silver value. The 1971 D quarter followed this new format. It has a standard weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. It's round, with a reeded edge, and made of copper-nickel-clad copper, practical, durable, and designed for high-volume circulation. The D mint mark located on the obverse, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail, indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary coin production facilities in the country. Design-wise, the coin continues the long-standing and respected aesthetic that began in 1932. The obverse features the left-facing profile of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan. Above his portrait is the word "Liberty," and to the left is the phrase, "In God We Trust." The date, 1971, rests beneath his chin, marking the year of minting and placing the coin firmly in the early 1970s era of American coinage. The reverse side of the coin is equally powerful, portraying a bald eagle with wings fully spread, clutching a bundle of arrows, a symbol of military readiness. Beneath the eagle lie two olive branches, representing peace. Above the eagle is the country's name, United States of America. Just beneath it is the national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At the bottom of the coin is the denomination, quarter dollar. Together, the obverse and reverse of the coin deliver a timeless message of leadership, strength, and unity, but with hundreds of millions of 1971 D quarters minted, what could possibly make one worth more than $100,000? The answer lies in rarity, error, and condition. Some 1971 D quarters are valuable because they were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank metal disc intended for a different coin accidentally ended up being used to strike a quarter. One of the most legendary errors involves a 1971 D quarter being struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from years earlier. Though the U.S. Mint officially stopped using silver for quarters in 1965, it's believed that a few silver planchets may have been mistakenly left in the machines or reintroduced from test batches. The result? A 1971 D quarter that looks normal but weighs slightly more, closer to 6.25 grams rather than 5.67 grams, and carries the distinct sound and shine of silver. These types of minting errors are extraordinarily rare. When discovered, they command massive interest from collectors and can sell for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. Another type of valuable error seen in 1971 D quarters includes off-center strikes, double die obverse, and broad strikes, each representing an unintentional deviation from the mint's strict standards. These striking errors are not just anomalies, they are pieces of history, capturing the rare moments when human or machine mistakes created something far more unique than intended. Now let's talk about condition. Any rare coin can increase dramatically in value if it is in mint state, especially one graded MS 65 or higher. These coins show no signs of wear, retain their original luster, and feature sharp, detailed designs. Third-party grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, are often used to evaluate and certify these coins, giving buyers confidence in authenticity and grade. A 1971 D quarter with a mint error and a high grade is truly a collector's dream. So, how can you tell if the 1971 D quarter in your possession is one of these valuable rarities? Start with the weight. Using a precision scale, compare your coin's weight to the standard 5.67 grams. If your quarter is heavier, it may have been struck on a silver planchet or another foreign blank. Next, examine the coin under magnification, check for doubling in the letters or numbers, an off-center design, or any irregularities in the rim. Any one of these features could indicate a mint error. Don't underestimate coins that look normal. Often, it's those average-looking quarters that hide the most value. Collectors and dealers have found jaw-dropping rarities in places as mundane as garage sales, old piggy banks, and inherited coin collections. That's the thrill of numismatics. Every coin holds a story, and some hold the potential to change your life. It's not just about money. The 1971 D Washington quarter represents a moment in American minting history. It tells the story of technological evolution, economic transition, and the occasional beautiful mistake. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can contain extraordinary value, both historical and financial. And now, for the part that truly captures the imagination, the value. One rare example of the 1971 D Washington quarter, struck on a silver planchet and verified in mint state condition by Professional Grading Services, recently made headlines in the numismatic world when it appeared at a major auction. After intense bidding from collectors and investors alike, the coin reached an incredible final price of $145,000. Top 3. In the vast world of coin collecting, there are few experiences more thrilling than stumbling upon a coin that defies expectations, a coin that has traveled through time, carried the weight of everyday transactions, and yet holds a secret far more valuable than its 25-cent face. Among such pieces is a fascinating treasure from the late 20th century, the 1979 D Washington quarter. While millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the country, a rare few possess unique characteristics that elevate their value to astonishing heights. In some remarkable cases, this seemingly ordinary coin has been valued at an incredible $112,000. The story of this coin is rooted in a blend of American tradition, historical change, and rare minting events that together make it a collector's dream. The Washington Quarter, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, has long been one of the most iconic pieces of U.S. coinage. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a dignified profile of the nation's first president on the obverse. Over time, while the world around it changed, this design remained largely untouched, a testament to its timeless symbolism and enduring popularity. On the obverse of the 1979 Washington Quarter, Washington faces left, his image captured in calm and confident detail. Above him, the word Liberty arches proudly. To the lower left is the national motto, "In God We Trust," and just below the neck, the year, 1979, is clearly struck. But what makes this particular coin instantly identifiable as a Denver Mint issue is the small, D, mint mark to the right of Washington's ponytail. This mint mark not only tells us the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, it also becomes a vital detail in tracing certain rare and valuable variations that occurred during production. Flipping the coin to its reverse, the classic design continues. A bold bald eagle is seen with wings outstretched, perched upon a bundle of arrows symbolizing defense. Below the arrows are two olive branches, a representation of peace. Surrounding this image are the inscriptions, United States of America, at the top, E pluribus unum, just above the eagle, and $quarter across the bottom. This design remained unchanged through the end of the century, helping solidify the Washington Quarter as a pillar of everyday American commerce. By 1979, quarters had already transitioned from being struck in silver to a more cost-effective copper-nickel clad composition. This change, implemented in 1965, was made to prevent the hoarding of silver coins and to help the mint produce higher volumes of coinage at lower cost. The clad quarter consists of a core of pure copper, sandwiched between outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, giving it a similar appearance to silver but without the precious metal content. So, with millions of 1979 D quarters in circulation and made from ordinary metal, what makes one of them worth a small fortune? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, mint errors, and immaculate condition. While most 1979 D quarters are worth only face value, a small number have been discovered with remarkable and unintentional errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. One such error involves the coin being struck on the wrong planchet, a blank intended for a different coin, such as a silver dollar or a foreign coin. These wrong planchet errors result in coins with incorrect weight, unusual coloration, and a distinctive ring when dropped. Another example includes the rare occurrence of a 1979 D quarter being mistakenly struck on a leftover silver planchet. Although silver quarters had not been minted for circulation since 1964, it's possible that a few silver blanks remained in the mint's equipment or were reintroduced by accident. When struck using the 1979 dies, these planchets produced quarters that were visually similar but noticeably heavier, typically around 6.25 grams, compared to the standard 5.67 grams of clad quarters. These rare silver-struck quarters are extremely valuable due to their scarcity and the fact that they should not exist. Other error types found on 1979 D quarters include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted, double die errors, where the image appears to be duplicated or shadowed, and broad strikes, which cause the coin's rim to stretch unnaturally. Any of these flaws, particularly when found on a coin in near-perfect condition, can increase its value dramatically. Condition, as always in numismatics, plays a critical role in determining a coin's final value. A coin with no signs of wear, strong luster, and sharp detail, known as a mint state coin, will command a much higher price than one that has been circulated. Grades like MS-65, MS-66, or MS-67, as certified by professional grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, reflect coins that are preserved in pristine condition, making them highly desirable in the collector market. The thrill of searching for such a coin keeps collectors energized. You never know when an old change jar, a forgotten roll from the bank, or a childhood coin collection might contain one of these rare gems. The 1979 D quarter, because of its age, design continuity, and production volume, is often overlooked. But among the millions of ordinary pieces lies the chance of discovering an extraordinary one, a coin that defies expectations and unlocks real financial value, and what's most exciting is that many people have no idea such coins exist. They pass them along in change, use them in vending machines, or drop them into fountains without a second thought. That's what makes these discoveries all the more magical. When an average person learns that something once thought to be worth just 25 cents is actually a life-changing treasure. So how do you know if your 1979 D Washington quarter is worth looking into? Start by examining it closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for striking errors, unusual coloration, or signs that the planchet may be different than normal. Weighing the coin with a digital scale can also reveal clues. If your quarter weighs more than 5.67 grams, it may be a silver planchet error or struck on a foreign blank. In such cases, it's absolutely worth having the coin examined by a professional grader or experienced numismatist. Coin collecting isn't just about history and design, it's about the chase, the stories, and sometimes, the surprise. The 1979 D Washington quarter embodies all of these elements. It's a coin that represents the everyday, yet, in the right condition and with the right error, becomes a symbol of extraordinary rarity and value. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the price. One exceptionally rare 1979 D Washington quarter, believed to have been struck on a silver planchet and certified in high mint state condition, shocked the numismatic world when it went to auction. After heated bidding and intense interest from collectors across the country, this remarkable coin reached a final sale price of $112,000. Top 4. In the vast and ever-evolving world of American coin collecting, some coins go unnoticed for decades, traveling from pocket to pocket, across cities and states, quietly fulfilling their purpose as currency. Yet among those billions of coins in circulation, a select few carry secrets that make them astonishingly rare and immensely valuable. Today, we're going to uncover the story behind one such coin, the 1983 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. While most people would see this coin as just another 25-cent piece, there's a rare and extraordinary version of this coin that has fetched as much as $88,000. Yes, you heard that right, a coin worth a mere quarter to most could actually be worth more than a luxury car or a college education. And that shocking value is rooted in a fascinating mix of American history, minting practices, metal composition, and a few rare mistakes that have made this coin a legend in the making. Let's begin with the basics. The 1983 Washington quarter was part of a long-running coin series that began in 1932, when the United States Mint released the Washington quarter to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Sculptor John Flanagan's portrait of Washington, with its bold and refined lines, quickly became iconic and has remained a staple of American coinage for decades. On the obverse side of the 1983 quarter, we see Washington's stately left-facing profile. The word "Liberty" is engraved above his head in strong, capital letters. To the left of his neck, the words, "In God We Trust," appear as a national pledge of faith, and below his profile, clearly visible, is the date, 1983. Just to the right of Washington's ponytail is a small but important detail, the letter P, signifying that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now turning to the reverse side of the coin, we're greeted by the timeless image of a fierce American bald eagle, wings spread wide, gripping a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and readiness. Below the eagle, two olive branches signify peace. Surrounding this powerful image are the inscriptions, United States of America, at the top, E pluribus unum, just below the eagle's head, and at the bottom, the denomination, $quarter. The technical specifications of the coin are standard for Washington quarters produced after 1965. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and is made of copper-nickel-clad copper, a cost-saving measure introduced after silver was removed from circulating coinage in the mid-1960s. Though it has a silver-colored appearance, the 1983 quarter contains no actual silver content, but here's where things get really interesting. In 1983, the United States Mint was under immense pressure to produce vast numbers of coins to support the growing needs of the U.S. economy. This was a period of aggressive coin production, and unfortunately, quality control occasionally took a backseat to quantity. That's why certain coins from this era, including the 1983 P quarter, contain notable errors and anomalies that have made them extremely desirable in the world of numismatics. One of the most famous varieties of the 1983 P quarter is the rare double die reverse, a striking error where the reverse design elements, such as the eagle's wings, arrows, and inscriptions, appear slightly duplicated or shifted due to a misalignment in the die during production. This type of error can be subtle to the untrained eye but is a major discovery for serious collectors. Another remarkable error is the off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned in the press and therefore features a misaligned design, missing part of the image or the outer rim. Then there are wrong planchet errors. These are coins that were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for other denominations or even foreign coinage. In some astonishing cases, 1983 P quarters have been found struck on planchets intended for dimes or foreign coins, resulting in an underweight or strangely colored quarter, a bizarre, beautiful, and incredibly rare mistake. However, perhaps the most significant factor contributing to the extreme value of some 1983 quarters is not just minting error, its scarcity in high grades. The year 1983 is infamous among collectors because the U.S. Mint did not produce uncirculated mint sets for public sale that year. That meant the only way for people to acquire 1983 coins was to get them from circulation, where they would inevitably be subject to wear, scratches, and damage. As a result, finding a 1983 P quarter in pristine, mint state condition is extremely difficult, making high-grade specimens exponentially more valuable. If you were to find a 1983 P quarter that had never been used, one that still retained its original luster, sharp strike, and flawless detail, especially one with a rare mint error, you would be holding a true numismatic gem. Coins like these are usually certified and graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. A high grade, such as MS-65, MS-66, or higher, can dramatically increase the coin's value, especially if the coin also features a known and verified mint error. Coin collectors and treasure hunters often share stories about finding valuable quarters in the most unexpected places, from pocket change and inherited coin jars to old rolls of quarters saved in banks or closets. The idea that a small, everyday coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars continues to inspire curiosity and passion across the globe. And that's what makes this hobby so thrilling. Anyone, at any time, could stumble upon a forgotten treasure. So how do you know if your 1983 P quarter might be one of these valuable rarities? Start by checking its condition. Is it still shiny and lustrous? Does it show minimal wear? Then, examine it closely under magnification. Look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual coloration. Weigh the coin with a precise scale. If something seems off, whether in design or weight, you may be holding a rare error coin. If you think you found something special, consult a professional numismatist or send it to a trusted grading service. In the end, the 1983 P Washington quarter is more than just a piece of change. It's a reminder of how history, craftsmanship, and unexpected mistakes can combine to turn an everyday object into a priceless collectible. It's a coin with a story, one that stretches from the heart of the Philadelphia Mint all the way to the hands of the lucky collector who discovers its true value. And now, for the most exciting part, just how much can a 1983 P Washington quarter be worth? In one stunning example, a rare specimen featuring a dramatic mint error and preserved in exceptional mint state condition was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping total of $88,000. Top 5. In the world of coin collecting, it's often the most unassuming coins that hide the greatest surprises. Coins we've held in our hands, passed along in change, or ignored in a forgotten piggy bank can sometimes hold extraordinary value. And one of the most intriguing examples of this phenomenon is the 1997 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks like every other quarter that passed through vending machines, parking meters, and lunch counters across the United States. But under the surface lies the story of a rare treasure, one that, in an exceptional case, has been valued at an incredible $67,000. Yes, a 25-cent coin from 1997, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has earned a seat at the table of the most sought-after modern coins, and not because of its age or precious metal content, but because of a rare blend of error, condition, and collector demand that transformed it into a numismatic marvel. Let's begin with the background of this seemingly ordinary coin. The Washington Quarter series has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. Originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the coin's design by John Flanagan became iconic, a strong and noble portrait of the first president of the United States, gazing left in stoic calm, symbolizing leadership and patriotism. The 1997 version continues this enduring design. On the obverse, we see Washington's profile, framed by the word "Liberty" across the top and the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. Just beneath Washington's chin, the date, 1997, is clearly stamped, and to the right, the small P mint mark lets us know this coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. This mint mark, while often overlooked by the casual observer, is an important detail for collectors, helping identify mint origins, distinguish varieties, and even determine value. The reverse side carries the long-standing image of the bald eagle, wings spread, clutching a bundle of arrows with two olive branches below. The words "United States of America" arch above the eagle, and "E pluribus unum" is placed just above its head. Along the bottom, we see the denomination, $quarter. This imagery, steeped in symbolism, speaks of American unity, peace, and readiness, values deeply ingrained in the nation's identity. The technical specifications of the coin are standard for Washington quarters of the modern era. It has a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a thickness of 1.75 millimeters, and is round with a reeded edge. The composition is a copper core clad in layers of copper nickel, giving it the silver-colored appearance, though it contains no actual silver. So what transforms this everyday coin into a piece of high-value treasure? The answer, as is so often the case in numismatics, lies in rarity, specifically, minting errors and exceptional condition. In certain rare instances, coins like the 1997 P Washington Quarter were struck under abnormal circumstances that produced noticeable anomalies. These mint errors are not only rare, but also fascinating for collectors. One of the most valuable errors associated with the 1997 P Quarter involves a misstrike on a planchet intended for a different coin. These planchet errors are among the most prized, especially when the blank was meant for a foreign coin or an entirely different U.S. denomination. When struck with quarter dies, such coins have the correct Washington Quarter design but the wrong weight or color, creating a bizarre and rare combination. Another valuable mistake includes off-center strikes, in which the coin design appears shifted, with blank areas around the edges. Then there are double die varieties, where letters, numbers, or parts of the design appear duplicated due to a misalignment during the die production process. While subtle to the untrained eye, these doubling effects can add significant value to a coin, but even without major minting errors, condition alone can elevate the 1997 P Quarter's value into the tens of thousands. Because coins in circulation experience wear, scratches, and loss of detail, finding a pristine specimen is increasingly difficult. A coin that has never been circulated, a mint state example, and has been professionally graded MS-67 or higher by a trusted third-party service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can be worth thousands to the right collector. Why? Because even though the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these quarters, only a very small fraction were preserved in perfect condition. High-grade coins are rare by nature, and when combined with the right errors, they become virtually priceless. To a seasoned collector, this type of coin isn't just a quarter, it's a window into U.S. minting history, a frozen moment in time, and a piece of metal that tells a much larger story. Collectors hunt for these coins in rolls from banks, in estate sales, or in their own forgotten coin jars. It's the idea that you might just find one of these rare gems hiding in plain sight that keeps collectors driven and the hunt alive. So how can you tell if your 1997 P Quarter is one of these special, high-value examples? Start with the basics. Inspect the coin's condition. Look at the luster. Is it shiny with no visible signs of wear? Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the details. Is there doubling on the letters or numbers? Is the strike slightly off-center? Is the weight unusual when measured on a precise scale? If anything seems out of the ordinary, you might just have a rare find on your hands. That if you do believe you've discovered something special, the next step is authentication. Submit the coin to a professional grading service. This step is essential, as a coin's value skyrockets when it's certified as genuine and assigned a numerical grade. Once verified, a rare 1997 P quarter in mint condition or with an error can sell at auction or through private dealers for a jaw-dropping price, and that brings us to the most exciting part of this journey, the value. In a stunning case that rocked the numismatic community, one exceptionally rare 1997 P Washington quarter, preserved in pristine condition and featuring an ultra-scarce mint error, was auctioned for a staggering total of $67,000.